One man built a business so powerful it controlled almost everything. Then, the United States government had to break it apart. How did he do it? This is the story of John D. Rockefeller and Standard Oil. In the 1860s, America found a new black liquid under the ground, oil. People rushed to Pennsylvania to find it. This was the oil rush. It was wild, messy, and dangerous. Many people drilled for oil, hoping to get rich. But the business was chaos. Prices went up and down like crazy. One day you were rich, the next day you were poor. The oil fields were a mess of wood towers, smoke, and mud. Getting the oil from the ground to the cities was difficult and expensive. It was a gamble. Everyone was trying to find more oil. But one quiet man, John D. Rockefeller, saw things differently. He wasn't interested in the chaos of drilling. He had a secret idea. Rockefeller knew that finding oil was risky. But every single person who found oil needed one thing. They needed to make it useful. Raw oil from the ground, called crude oil, can't be used in lamps. It must be cleaned in a special factory called a refinery. The refinery turns crude oil into kerosene, the fuel for lamps that lit up America before electricity. Rockefeller thought, why chase the oil in the ground? Why not control the part that everyone needs? He decided he would control the refineries. He wasn't playing the same game as everyone else. He was building a system. In 1863, in a growing city called Cleveland, Ohio, Rockefeller built his first oil refinery. Cleveland was the perfect spot. It was connected by railroads to the oil fields and to the big cities. His refinery was different. It was clean, efficient, and made the best quality kerosene. While his competitors wasted parts of the oil, Rockefeller used everything. He even sold the waste products. He saved every penny. But being the best wasn't enough. He wanted to be the only one. He needed a secret weapon to take over the entire industry. And that weapon was the railroad. Rockefeller went to the powerful railroad companies in secret. He told them, I will give you so much oil to transport, more than anyone else, every single day. In exchange, he wanted a secret deal. He asked for a lower price for his shipments. But he also asked for something shocking. He wanted the railroads to give him money for every barrel of oil his competitors shipped. This was called a rebate. It meant every time his rivals did business, Rockefeller got paid. It was an incredible advantage. His competitors were paying more to ship their oil, and that extra money was going straight into Rockefeller's pocket. It was like playing a game where your opponent has to give you their points. With this secret power, Rockefeller returned to Cleveland in 1872. He went to all the other refinery owners one by one. He showed them his books. He showed them how low his costs were. He gave them a choice: sell your company to me, or I will crush you. He could sell his kerosene for so cheap that no one could compete. Faced with ruin, most of them sold. In just a few months, in what became known as the Cleveland Massacre, Rockefeller took control of almost all the refineries in the city. He had created a machine that was unstoppable. The name of this machine was Standard Oil. Now Rockefeller began to expand his empire across America. Standard Oil grew bigger and bigger. It bought more refineries, built pipelines to transport oil even cheaper than railroads, and controlled storage tanks. The company was like a giant octopus, with its arms reaching into every part of the oil business. If you bought kerosene for your lamp anywhere in America, it almost certainly came from Standard Oil. By the 1880s, the company controlled around 90% of the oil refining in the United States. It was a monopoly, a single company that has complete control over an industry. Rockefeller was one of the richest men in the world. He had brought order to the chaos of the oil industry, but he had done it by destroying his competition. People started to get scared. Was Standard Oil too powerful? One person decided to fight back, not with money or power, but with words. Her name was Ida Tarbell. She was a journalist. Her father was an oil man whose business was hurt by Rockefeller. She spent years investigating Standard Oil. She talked to people who had been forced to sell their businesses. She found secret documents. She uncovered the secret railroad deals. In 1902, she started publishing her articles in a popular magazine. She told the story of Standard Oil's ruthless methods. For the first time, the public saw exactly how Rockefeller had built his empire. The articles were a sensation. People were angry. They called Rockefeller a robber baron, a king who had stolen his wealth. Ida Tarbell's words were powerful. They turned public opinion against Standard Oil and put pressure on the government to do something. The government listened. President Theodore Roosevelt was known as a trust buster, someone who broke up powerful monopolies. The government took Standard Oil to court. The legal battle lasted for years. The government argued that Standard Oil had used unfair methods to destroy competition, which was illegal. Standard Oil argued it had simply been better at business. The case went all the way to the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court. Finally, in 1911, the court made its decision. The verdict was in. Standard Oil was guilty. The court ordered the company to be broken apart. It was a historic moment. The most powerful company in the world was being dismantled by the government. Standard Oil was forced to split into 34 separate, smaller companies. Some of those names might sound familiar today. Exxon, Mobil, and Chevron were all born from the breakup of Standard Oil. It seemed like Rockefeller had lost. His great empire was shattered. But here's the final twist. Rockefeller still owned shares or small pieces of all those new companies. And as these companies grew and competed with each other, their value went up. A lot. The breakup of Standard Oil actually made John D. Rockefeller the richest man in modern history. In the second half of his life, he did something unexpected. He started giving his money away. He gave away huge amounts, more than any person had ever given before. He funded medical research that helped wipe out diseases. He created universities and foundations that still exist today. He spent the last part of his life trying to use his vast wealth to help humanity. So this brings us to the big question. Was John D. Rockefeller a villain who crushed his rivals to build a powerful monopoly? Or was he a visionary builder who brought order to a chaotic industry and then gave back his fortune to the world? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, be sure to subscribe for more.